If you're anywhere near financial reporting, you know that final stretch. Getting all those numbers tagged for compliance can be a total nightmare. Well, Oracle is making a really big shift in its EPM cloud strategy that tackles this problem head-on. It's all about a brand new integration for XBRL, the standard language for digital business reporting. And trust me, it's a change that could completely overhaul your workflow. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll take a quick look back at a key decision Oracle made in 2021. Then, we'll dive into the new solution and exactly how it works. After that, we'll get to the really important part, a big catch about who actually gets this feature. And finally, we'll talk about what this all means for your EPM strategy going forward. All right, to really get why this new feature is such a big deal, we actually need to jump in a time machine and go back a few years. See, Oracle made this pivotal decision back in 2021 that really set the stage for everything that's happening right now. So back in 2021, Oracle did something that kind of surprised everyone. They completely got rid of their native XBRL functionality. But now, fast forward to today, and they've pulled a complete 180. They're introducing this powerful new Enhanced XBRL Integration. It's a total reversal, but, and this is key, it comes with a very different strategy this time. That decision in 2021, it immediately created this clunky, disconnected workflow. All of a sudden, for super-critical filings like SEC reports, finance teams had to go find and manage a whole separate third-party vendor just for the XBRL tagging. It added this extra layer of complexity and management overhead right at the most stressful part of the reporting cycle. Not ideal. And that brings us to today. Oracle is now rolling out a really powerful solution that directly fixes the complexity of that old, disconnected process. You could say they're completely rewriting the script on how XBRL gets done. The official name for it is the Enhanced XBRL Integration, and it's built right into narrative reporting. So what does that actually mean in plain English? Well, it's basically an API-based connection that lets your Oracle environment talk directly to your XBRL service provider. The whole point is to create one single, seamless flow instead of two separate, clunky ones. Okay, so how does this actually work for you, the user? Let's break down the real-world benefits and see how this thing streamlines what people call the last mile of financial reporting. There are three huge advantages here. First, that direct connection we just talked about. Second, the data transfer is way simpler. But this third one, this is the real game changer. Iterative refresh. This means you can update your report, push the changes, and you won't lose all the XBRL tagging you've already spent hours on. That is a massive time saver. At the end of the day, the goal here is to make that final, critical step of reporting so much smoother. It's about cutting down the complexity and, just as important, making the whole process way less vulnerable to those frustrating manual errors. Okay, so this all sounds fantastic, right? A real problem solver. But now we get to the most critical piece of this entire announcement, the big catch about who actually gets to use this shiny new feature. So here it is, the million-dollar question for anyone using Oracle's EPM cloud. Is this for you? And the answer is pretty simple, and it is a big one. This new integration is available exclusively for users on the Enterprise EPM edition. If your company is on the Standard Edition or still on the legacy EPRCS, you do not get access. And you got to understand, this isn't just some minor feature update. This creates a really significant gap in functionality between Oracle's EPM tiers, especially when it comes to the critical world of compliance. Which brings us to our final point. What does this mean for your company's strategy? For any organization not on that enterprise tier, this announcement is a huge, flashing signal that it might be time to reevaluate things. To put it bluntly, the gap between the standard and enterprise editions is getting wider. This new feature is a perfect example of how Oracle is saving its most powerful new tools for its top-tier customers. So, if your company fits into one of these buckets, maybe you're on the Standard Edition, or you're still juggling multiple legacy apps like Hyperion, or you're simply looking for a way to streamline compliance, this announcement should be a major wake-up call. I mean, just look at the difference here. Your XBRL process goes from this disconnected multi-vendor headache to something integrated and streamlined. Your overall functionality goes from limited and static to advanced and constantly growing. From both an operational and a financial standpoint, the argument for consolidating everything onto the Enterprise Edition, well, it's getting a lot stronger. And this all leaves one final, really provocative question for you to think about. Seeing how Oracle is deliberately widening this functionality gap, you really have to ask yourself, is it finally time for your company to make the move to Enterprise EPM?